think we are live. All right, we made it. Hello, this is Dave. I'm obviously the Dungeon Master. Yeah, we're live. You just got to believe.
All right.
There's a delay. And this is Alex, who plays Filch.
Hi.
So if you had any questions, if anything about that didn't make sense at all...
Don't know why I wouldn't.
We're right here now. You can ask us questions. We're going to be on for about 10 minutes. Just shoot them through in the Twitch chat on the side. Excellent. Oh, no, wait. I've got because it's the MacBook Mirror. So is this being flipped?
Tell us.
I got that wrong.
Shall I read a question?
Yeah, 100%.
Question. Why not kill the guy and take them instead?
I think they mean the tabaxi.
Oh, right. Why steal the dinosaur? Well, I don't know. I think Filch tries to avoid killing in essence where possible.
There is a logic to what you do. I think that also there's been a lot of killing, and you were in a heavily fortified fort. So I'm kind of glad that you guys didn't start another genocide. So that probably could have been worse. Also, we're joined by a portrait of Ben Jenkins. So he's here as well. If you want to ask him any questions, he'll stare grimly at you.
That's right.
Is this working?
I don't know.
I know. I think it is. I think you're just...
Will someone tell us in the chat if it's working?
Yeah, no,
there we are.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, good. Now we can hear ourselves.
That's
terrible. Oh, God.
This is so professional.
Other questions. I had to refresh. Someone said they had to refresh to get the Q&A working. Do you have any plans for when one of the dragon friends inevitably dies?
I actually do. Helped in a little bit by Tomb of Annihilation has some really cool stuff about what happens when player characters die. So, yeah, if they die, they are going to die, and they're going to have to deal with the consequences.
Do we get to play in heaven?
Well, I would just say that this is a foreign land. You don't have a high-level cleric with you. You don't have a temple nearby to help you. You're far, far out in the jungle. So there's no easy ways out of characters dying. So that will become a problem. Right. Also, it's stinking humid jungle. And any corpses that you carry with you, it's not like, you're not in the ice. So you're going to have to deal with it quickly.
Or if we come back, we'll be like all rotted away.
Yeah. But there is magic in this world that will bring people back. We've never actually dealt with it because the only deaths we had, you guys were very low level. So Dilge, for instance, is dead. Yeah. Also, you lost his body because you...
Left it with a dragon?
You barricaded a door with it.
Yeah. My brother.
Played by Tom Walker.
Here's a question. Since this whole adventure takes place in an arcade game, won't they just respawn?
So Caroline, if you listen to our podcast, the way that we are doing both of these stories alongside is that the Tomb of Annihilation is an arcade game in the Skyway Lounge in that kind of futuristic world. So
even if we die in the game, we still get to live.
No, we have not said that. I don't. One thing that's happened is that while they're lost in the game, you guys have lost your magical powers in Shadowrun, which is something we've done.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I think that if they die in the game, they die for good. And that would mean that they would basically, the magical ones at least, would lose any sense of magical power and they'd lose the links to the divine. So they couldn't be risen from the dead or anything like that anymore.
Oh, here's a good question. Dave, do you ever think about having a D&D expert on to show what knowing the rules can do? Not that I don't love what your game does. What? We play with all the rules, don't we?
No, you 100% do not play with all the rules.
Well, I don't get to do everything I want to all the time.
Wizards of the Coast and Good Game Australia were very nice, and they gave you a player's handbook 2 years ago.
I don't know where that is.
Even Simon was like, "Ooh, pictures," and he spent a lot of time. But I just realised he was just looking at all the pictures.
Oh yeah, we were going through which monsters were fuckable.
Yeah,
that's right. I remember that.
I think we want to have more. We had Scott Ludlam, one-time Australian Greens senator, who knew the rules. We've had Jordan Raskopoulos, and she's played quite a lot of D&D, and she was pretty good at using all her paladin abilities. Yeah, I would not be. We have special guests sometimes, and one time it would be very fun to bring a real big old Dorcas Malorcas on. Who would it be?
Well, my new brother-in-law is a D&D expert. He used to run big games.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but I don't know to learn all this stuff.
But I thought
to do it.
In this adventure, I really liked that Eden, who actually does know quite a lot about it, just pulled out his action surge and his bonus attacks.
Yeah.
Eden is definitely somebody who knows what his character can do. I'd say more than anyone else. You wouldn't know it behind that kind of gentle, relaxed sort of keeping a cool expression.
Yeah.
He can murder when he needs to.
Like in this episode when he was like, "You made me kill these frogs," I was like, "Oh, that's just Eden getting mad. That's not best done."
What would happen if
Filch put it all on black?
Yeah, I was terrified.
Oh my god!
I suppose so. That's if Filch had, you would have 12 million credits. They wouldn't have been locked up. They would have come to Freeside with the money probably to solve most of the problems that the rest of the adventures going to rest on. And we would have already saved, I suppose, Johnny PlayStation. So I'm really glad that they lost that dice roll.
I could have just gambled it again, though. Like, I could have won it all and then just re-gambled it.
Actually, do you think... Oh, yeah, that's a good question. You're assuming that Filch would have known to stop, but I think...
What's it called? Checking out?
Yeah. If the Dragon Friends had doubled their money, they 100% would have put it all on black again.
Yeah, and lost eventually. Another question. If you're a beginner of D&D, what kind of character can you make?
Well, there's a lot of...
Can you be anything? Or is it like Pokemon?
There's classes and there's races. You can find a lot of this stuff just by Googling it. It's on Wikipedia. D&D Beyond have a really cool character generator that's in beta, which you can use. Or the Player's Handbook has everything. We only use Player's Handbook races. We don't use and classes. We don't use anything particularly tricksy. But yeah, you could be a bard, a ranger, a fighter, a sorcerer, a warlock, a rogue. I'm forgetting some of them. Did I say ranger?
I don't know. I was listening.
A lot of them.
Ben Harris says to Alex, "You keep coming back. Do you enjoy D&D now?" Oh, I always... Well, I don't know. I've never played D&D properly. I enjoy doing Dragon Friends. It's my favourite thing. And I don't hate it at all. I just don't, understand it.
But also it's weird that you keep coming back because you are part of the Dragon Friends.
Yeah, I'm contractually obliged.
Yeah. If Alex didn't come to the theatre, we would be understandably annoyed.
Well, sometimes I say things like, "Oh, I'd love to play a game, like an actual game with friends," but,
There's actually a great thing, and we haven't put it online yet, but Alex made a role-playing system, and she dungeon mastered an episode of an RPG that she wrote that was set in the world of Tim Allen's Home Improvement. And we played that for 2 hours once.
It was so easy. Wasn't it like it was like 1 to 6.
You only use 6-sided dice.
6-sided dice, and if you got a 3, you pretty much got to do whatever you want.
Yeah. It was
great.
It was really fun. It was a really good system. It was much better than it should have been, had any right to be. And we filmed it all, and I think it's as a Christmas present at the end of this year, we're going to give it to all of our Patreons. So that's something to look forward to.
It was also a great experience in realising how hard your job is, Dave, because I had this whole thing planned out. I had written this whole story, like a whole episode of Home Improvement.
And we just murdered them all.
And yeah, there was murder, and I wasn't anticipating murder in this world of Home Improvement. I thought they were going to rescue a cat from a tree, and then I had to rewrite it all in the interval, and I was very mad.
It's also features
unfairly, really,
a special guest we've never used, Matthew Roden from Sydney Story Factory, who is a really, really funny improviser. Does a really good Tim Allen impression.
He practiced.
Yeah.
I asked him to do it, and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to study."
He did a really good Tim Allen impression in it, and he plays Tim Allen's character in Home Improvement. He got the entire audience to chant high power. What's that? What's his catchphrase? Power on. The power is yours.
Yeah, no, it's the power is yours.
Yeah. We should do a Captain Planet one shot.
Yeah.
Oh, that would actually be really fun. We do one-shots every now and then, and if you ever have any ideas of what would be a funny one-shot, you should tweet them at us. That's why we did Home Improvement, because it was a dare from the Facebook.
You know what I'd like to do? Charmed.
Yeah, this is the second time you've said you want to do it.
I know, but I haven't got to do it yet, so I'll keep saying it.
Charmed would be good. We also kept saying that we were going to do Hamilton the musical as an RPG, and I don't know what that would look like, but...
yeah. More power.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
How much of the chaos is just role-playing, and how much is throwing a wrench in Dave's plans?
Well, I think that's a question for you.
Well, it's. I always try and play and make decisions that Filch would do, but since Alex, the player, has always enjoyed throwing wrenches in Dave's plans, I think that's part of what Filch enjoys doing too. But I always try and, all the decisions are things that she would do, and sometimes I'm like, oh well, got no choice. Like, that would be an impulse of Phil, just she doesn't, like, hold back on her impulses. So
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever...
You've got to just do it. And, like, we know that we aren't...
Ben fucks with me. I think Ben's the only one...
Yeah, because he knows what's meant to happen. Like, sometimes I'm thinking, what does Dave want?
Yeah, even poor, mad, simple Hing. Idiot man-child Michael Hing. Strange sociopath Michael Hing. Even he, I think, is trying to do what Friezo would do. He's just...
Oh, yeah.
Hing sees the world in a very different way. And if you've met Friezo... And even if you've met Hing, there is more of Friezo in Hing than you probably would expect. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. If you're new to Dragon Friends, can an experienced player help new people or not? I don't quite.
If you're new to Dungeons and Dragons, I would suggest play with experienced players.
Yeah,
if one
watch the streams of the people who play it properly. Too.
Yeah, there's other.
Don't watch us.
If you've only come through this from our channel, the same adventure is being played by like 6 other streams, which is really interesting. For instance, there's a LA group called Girls Guts Glory, and they just did House of the Crocodile, which is something we did in our second episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's the High Rollers, and there's Dice Camera Action, and there's Maze Arcana. So they're all worth checking out. They're all very different, but they're using the same material, which is really cool.
Yeah. How much longer do we have?
We probably got 3 more questions, I think.
Oh, can I tell you something funny that happened at my wedding?
Yes, you can tell us all.
It's really cute. My dad was giving a speech and he was like, oh, and Alex is involved in so many different things, like, comedy and story club and Friends and Dragons. Her podcast, Friends and Dragons.
Which is lovely. And that will be the name of our next podcast.
Here we go. Here's a question for you. I'm not stalling. Current non-Tomb of Annihilation campaign is not a published campaign. Are you planning on going back to a published campaign, or will they all be homebrewed now?
Yeah, so Season 1, Harris Ben, was homebrewed, obviously, but it was set in the Sword Coast. Season 2 was based off the 1980s, I think it was Weiss and Hickman Ravenloft module for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Season 3 is a shamefaced rip-off of Shadowrun, but done in the 5e rules set. So Shadowrun is, of course, the kind of Neuromancer William Gibson with elves, Will Smith's Bright Netflix series set there. And I think, without giving too much away, I think Season 4 is going to go back to fantasy, but I'm interested in leaving Faerun. So we're probably going to go to another one of the official D&D settings, but we're going to still not go back to the Sword Coast. I think a lot of the story from now on is going to be the Dragon Friends just trying to get home.
Do we just get cut off when this finishes?
No, I don't think so. So we can still answer a couple more. That's fine.
Great. There was a good question.
There was a good question before.
Can I use Sir Grimsby in my campaign to do a rendition of Modern Major General, very model of a Waterdeep historian?
Honky Khan, can you write the lyrics to that and send them to us? Oh. And if they're good, we'll get Benny Davis to record, to play it.
We have a friend who's been one of our guests before, and we did the Star Wars episode, who loves Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yep,
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yes, yeah, Pirates of Penzance.
I'm sure he would be happy to record that for you.
Yeah, so we'll if it's good, we'll record it. And if you don't hear from us again, it wasn't good. Sorry.
Oh, we're lazy. How do you navigate having all the Tomb of Annihilation streams going on at the same time? Spoilers. Do you encourage or discourage players from watching the others?
No, I think everyone should watch all of the others. It's fun because there are connections that are starting to happen a little bit here and there. We've talked before that Sir Grimsby is knows through his connections to the Waterdeep Historical Society. He actually knows Sir Adonis Crumsby from High Rollers. So there's, and I'm hoping there's going to be more of that. As we go. So we're all kind of watching each other's streams. We talk a bit on Twitter, and it's inevitable. I think there's going to be a little bit of crossover.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
Yeah, I would love them all to be canon. It's impossible, but somehow I reckon these 6 groups should all be going through Chult at the same time and not bumping into each other until the finale.
Just missing each other?
Yeah, and then we'll all arrive at like the Fane of the Night Serpent, and there'll be one soulmonger and 6 of us, and we'll have to fight it out in a death match.
It'll be like that scene in Anchorman.
Yeah. That's self-indulgence as well.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, last question.
Oh, With the one shots podcast, and is it hard keeping your head canon sorted? Yes.
Yes.
That's so hard.
We spend a lot of times, we have now 2 character sheets, which is worse, because they've got different inventory, and you guys are always going, do I have this? Do I have my weapons at the moment?
It's like, where's my gun? It's in that other world. But, so it's fun.
Yeah. I hope we're not going to split the metaverse again. I think 2 is enough for us right now. And once they get their way through the Tomb of Annihilation and come back out in the Prime campaign, they will get their magic powers back. And that's how we'll know that the 2 timelines in Rick and Morty style have sort of re-merged. Cool. All right, well, we're going to be back next week. Same time, same station, with episode 5?
Yes, 5.
Yeah, cool. In the meantime, if you've got something to show us, someone drew something from the last one, a picture of Baston with his lily pad hat, just tweet it at us or show us on Facebook because we love that stuff.
Yeah, and we'll share it.
100%. All right, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye.